Thank you.
We are somewhere in Florida for the Blitzball World Series. Lou and Colin are here. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys, the podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about Blitzball. I'm your co-host, Brendan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey.
Hey, Brendan, we're here.
We're here.
We're at the World Series.
At the
we're
World
in
Series.
Florida for the World Series.
We're a little late. I think they packed
Just
up
a
and
little
left.
They packed up and left, but we're here.
But we're here.
We are here.
We said if we were going to record this, we were going to record it on the grounds that they played.
Yeah, so we're on the field.
Mm-hmm.
We set up backdrops that look like our normal backdrops. We are
Which
on
costs a
the
lot of money.
field
Used up most of
in
our
Tampa,
budget.
Florida. It's 11:30 at night. We're on the field in Tampa, Florida,
That's right.
and we're ready to call some blitzball games.
Yeah. Next time they come around, I guess.
We're
here.
We'll be
waiting for
here.
it. We'll be here.
We're waiting for you. I quit my job.
I never had a job.
I quit my job. Brendan never had a job. The subtlety thing at the end that we do.
It's a
not
joke.
Real. Not real. It's a joke. Fooled ya. Got you all. But Brendy, why are we here on this field in Tampa?
Well, we will be covering every game in this Blitzball World Series, which you hear the name Blitzball World Series. It's very exciting, very dangerous. It's just like,
what is that from?
World Series. I don't know what it's from. I just love saying it.
You say it all the time.
Every time I say it's very exciting, I can't not say very dangerous. Also,
I always assumed it was from something, and one day, like after we recorded, I looked it up. It's not. I can't find what it's from, but it has to be from something.
It's something that's said in other podcasts, and now in this one
it.
too. But we're in the World Series. This is something that we are coming in as outsiders a little bit. Like, as if you've been following our Blitzball Boys content, we mostly cover warehouse games, and we are now diving deeper, as Blitzball Boys do, into the rest of the Blitzball world. So if you're super familiar with the content we are talking about, forgive us a little bit, give us some leeway. We're learning, but we're so excited to see. It's really cool, honestly, up top to just see all the Blitzball accounts that I'm familiar with on Instagram, just like all coming together in the same place. And on top of that, also introducing some characters we're very familiar with from the warehouse.
Characters. These are not characters. I believe characters are a warehouse specific thing. These are people.
Oh yeah, that's
these
true.
Are
These
athletes.
are people. They're paid actors.
These are paid actors, athletes. A lot of people. First game that we're going to cover today, we do have a lot of familiar faces.
Mm-hmm.
We have Colin Stone and Lou Dabb from obviously warehouse games, and then Quinn Myers is a big face on the Como Blitzball channel that we've seen before. Spoken to his good buddies, Sammy and Caden, great guys. But we're going to learn about some other guys today too, Brendy.
Some other boys.
We're going to learn about some other guys. No, we can't make this a voices episode.
Not already. Not off the bat.
Not on episode
but I
one.
will, before we dive into the burn, which is a thing we do, I guess just listen and hold on for the ride and you'll understand, I guess, sort of what it is. But you said athletes before, and that is, I think, one of the bigger differences with these Blitzball tournaments and the warehouse is
you're taking shots.
These guys are all athletes, where the warehouse is, I think, leans more personality than athlete.
I am not going to stand with you on this one.
They're all athletes who are in the warehouse, but this is a different level. Like, you see these guys' legs are fucking yoked up and big and beefy, and they're, I don't know, these guys are playing a different game, and we talked about it a little bit off air too. There's more athleticism needed because there's like the running aspect of it and the feeling aspect. These are young dudes, spry, running around, throwing 80+ miles per hour.
Oh.
They're beefcakes. I mean, we have Colin Stone, one example of someone we talked about before, someone who can throw 100 miles per hour. So these guys have the abilities of higher end athletes than what we're used to. Is that not true?
No. No, it is true.
Incorrect.
It's true. It's
It's cool to see, though.
They are cool to see, and I do like some of the best. And geeks. People don't. Who watched that show? Not me. I just said it's not going to be
watch it.
Voices episode. Good episode. Freaks and Geeks, famously one episode. We see very early on, and we'll talk about it, the ability for plays to be made just because there's more players in the field and they have more room to run and whatnot is a lot higher in the Blitzball World Series than in something that you or I are more familiar with in
I didn't think you'd hear that. It was the microphone stand,
in,
not me.
in the warehouse games. Brendan just shit his pants. Why don't you get to burning to cover that smell up, Brendy?
All right. Here we go. It's Pinstripe Power versus Nick Mason and some of the members of the audience as we get a look at Colin Stone pitching in the elements. He walks a few, but otherwise dices up the team led by Freemason himself. Nick is not supposed to be dominant on the mound, but with the help of his fielders, they have a chance to win. Bomber's up at the plate, and Nick comes up with men on. He puts it in play, and Colin baboots it. They're on the board with one. The bases are loaded in a tie game for Quinn in relief, and Warehouse MVP up at the plate. He does all he needs to do and puts the ball in play for a walk-off win. Colin Stone is quickly rising the ranks of the Blitzball rankings, and Pinstripe Power was doing that.
Yeah, just like we talked about last episode with Colin himself, he's kind of getting this reputation of a walk-off hero, huh?
And in the same fashion, too, of just like, here's a little shitty grounder.
Yeah, except this time there was a bit. There might have been an error on the play.
Yeah, it's tough, though. It seems like balls put in play are going to play no matter what, because throwing the ball at someone, like having to peg or like get them out, I don't know exactly the rules of like the fielding stuff, but I guess he could have stepped on third. Their bases loaded. It was going to be tough no matter what. The fielding in this game just seems very difficult.
There were no outs. Stepping on third wouldn't have done anything.
Oh, there you go. So you had to throw home, and it would have been crazy if you were to throw a blitzball to peg someone. I don't know. When I used to play like pegging and stuff like that growing up, I think you were not allowed to hit them in the head. But
we're adults.
We're adults. I think it should be strictly head. Head shots, 2 outs.
Brendan, you can't say we're adults. I think it should be strictly head. This is a children's podcast.
That's a long.
Our demographic is fucked, Brendan. God damn it!
But play with me here a little bit. Don't you think it would be,
Brendan?
It must be very difficult to field in blitzball, to have to throw that ball. You essentially have to throw like a sinker to first base if you want to field the ball as a shortstop. Like, it just seems really difficult.
It's hard enough to catch a fly ball or to field a grounder cleanly.
Right.
And then having to worry about pegging somebody out is seemingly impossible. I mean, we've seen it done a couple times, but typically it's from a much shorter range.
Exactly. It was a shorter range. I think that's the only time you're really going to get that peg in. But I guess on the other side of that coin, it will be it'll amp me up when I see like a long throw pegging someone out in the base pass. I'm like, wow, that was crazy. And probably sort of lucky. What are you giggling at over there?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. You're just watching TV while we do this.
I'm watching WWE Raw. But I think about this a lot, actually, not to go too far off tangent, which it's kind of like when we play blitzball, right? Mm-hmm. Typically, if you're not pitching, you've come and played by us. If you're not pitching, you're playing the outfield.
Right.
Even after you make a catch in the outfield and you throw the ball back to the pitcher, I feel like I've never thought about how can I make this ball go in a straight line. And I've just like thrown it and it's done it. It seems to be only when you're like whipping the ball like you would be with a peg or with a pitch that it starts to do these kooky crazy movements.
Right, with like more
which is why like throwing from the third base shortstop shallow left field position in which I believe it was Megley who was fielding the ball.
Right.
Like would have to do to get Lou.
And if you haven't yet, please go to the Blitzball website and buy your Megley hats now.
Buy your Megley hats. Like Lou wasn't running at full speed. It looked like he was maybe taking it a little easy. Mm-hmm. Or maybe Lou just looked slow because of camera tricks. But like it seems like a doable play. Whoa. It seemed like a doable play. I always forget that it's not just us. I'm really sorry to everybody who just heard that.
They heard me rip ass, and now you've burped.
There you go. The trifecta. What?
Yeah,
One of us has to vomit, I guess.
I guess so.
Uh,
At the same time, 1, 2, 3.
well, no, because we already have the top and the bottom. Hey, we have to really loudly piss our pants.
That's the only way I know how, baby.
Um, even if Megley were to have fielded the ball cleanly, pegging Lou to get him out before touching home plate and then record an additional 2 outs seems to be impossible.
I guess you would have had to just get more strikeouts. But what the ball in play with men on instant runs and more runs than should probably score. I guess that's my one big thing here is if there's no
juiced.
forces on the bases, why not as soon as the ball is even touched? As soon as it touches ground, just keep running. If you're on first base and the ball is hit and played, why not just keep going? Because
Are there no forces?
No, I'm saying if there's no force, like say,
Oh yeah,
you're on first base, the ball's put in play. I'm just gonna get on my horse and go all the way home and see if they can peg me.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, yes. Why not? Be risky.
Yep.
What's the worst that can happen? You get out? Oh no, it's baseball. But in terms of the whole, if Megley were to field it cleanly and then get Lou out at home, the bases are still loaded. You'd have to hope for strikeouts. Realistically, as we heard from Nick Mason, Babuda himself, they don't have any pitchers at this tournament.
Right.
Their 2 pitchers could not make it. Nick did a fine job. Nick did a fine job.
Yeah.
2 strikeouts, no earned runs. Great. Good job. You're matching it up with Colin Stone, who got his 3 strikeouts. Obviously, in this tournament, you could only pitch 1 inning. And then Alex Champagny?
Correct us in the comments.
Send me a voicemail.
Yeah.
2 strikeouts as well. One earned run. Oh, a callback from Blitzball Battle 4?
Yeah.
Send us your phone number. It just seemed as though you really saw the difference that having pitchers versus having no pitchers gives you.
And again, to give them credit, didn't pitch that poorly as a whole. But I mean, maybe we should just get into it before we just talk about the whole game.
Well, how do you want to get into it though? I thought we are getting into it.
I guess any by inning, like we like to do.
Oh, I did not take those notes.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
I just took notes of the normal stats,
General
and
stuff.
I figured they're short enough. We could just talk about everything.
Right.
I mean, first inning was kind of a snooze fest is the wrong word, but you have 0-0 game after the first. Then the runs start coming in the second with Alex Champagny giving up the only earned run for the Freemasons, I believe you called them.
Yeah. I do want to rewind back a little bit to Colin's outing though.
I want to let everybody know what the Freemasons are.
My grandpa was a Freemason, so I am an elite member of society, as I just found out off air. So just let it be known. If you don't know, I called Nick Mason Freemason because he wore the batting gloves. That was where the joke came in, and his last name.
That's where the joke came in.
But Colin Stone, we were curious. I think they even asked about it on the broadcast or before he goes up there. They're like, how's it going to be different pitching to these guys? And I think the question was posed more to Colin about the new crop of dudes he's playing against. And then Colin fully pivoted and was like, it's not about that. It's about the weather. It's about like the elements in the air and stuff. And that is absolutely true. Pitching in a controlled environment is much different than pitching in a place. Even if it's not a lot of wind, every little tiny gust affects a little ball that weighs nothing. So I'm sure he was curious to see how. Obviously, we've all played a bunch outdoors. He's never thrown the ball outside the warehouse, but he hasn't played in like deep competition outside yet. So, or at least on camera. I think he fared really well. I think there was a little bit of a learning curve because he did walk more than he usually does.
Right.
We saw him throughout this tournament maybe walking a batter per game, if that, in the warehouse this past season. So the 2, I think he walks 2, but otherwise, once he finds his release point and saw how much differently his sinker is moving, Since he's able to throw it harder, I think he gives it a little bit different of a shape than he does in the warehouse too, and he figured that out pretty quickly.
Yes. And, as go back and listen to our interview with him, he does tell us that he starts experimenting with different arm angles and throwing pitches a little harder. So I'm really excited to see just how he's going to evolve throughout this tournament. Getting a little more comfortable with the 80-mile-per-hour speed limit as opposed to 70, being able to throw over the top, which we haven't really seen too much. Did you start to notice? Please go to the YouTube to see what I'm about to do. But did you start to notice when he was throwing his sinker, when he was holding the ball like this?
I forgot to look at that. No.
I rewatched it today and I saw it a couple times. I'm like, wow, he really does hold it like that.
It's so weird. I can't even. I was sitting there watching this game.
I don't
with the
understand
Blitzball
what
and trying to fit it in my
does.
fucking fingers, and I can't get it in there. I don't know how you even get a grip on that ball like this.
I could do it. I could do it for
I
sure.
know. I can't do it.
I don't understand what this does that this doesn't.
No idea.
You know what I mean?
I know. I fully understand because I think you would get a better grip by just keeping your fingers together or something. But for whatever reason, that it works for him.
He's the pro.
He's a pro.
He's the one who throws 100 miles an hour, and in his words, he learned how to do that by just throwing the ball, man.
Yeah, I run a workshop where I teach kids how to pitch. Like, oh, so what is your process? How do you get velocity in the ball? Just keep going. I don't understand what you and Brendan are not understanding. You keep throwing the ball, you two idiots. Very fun
You just
interview.
huck the ball. Brendan, when you teach people how to run cross country, better, because you're a famous college athlete, cross country runner.
Right.
How do you teach them? What do you say to them?
Just keep throwing more pitches. You throw as many pitches as you possibly can, and you can eventually run really fast. It works like a charm.
Just fucking get out there and throw the ball, guys.
Keep throwing the ball, guys.
You could do a sub 3-minute mile if you just did it.
Coach Brendan's weird. He's kind of a genius.
Coach Brendan's weird, but I've knocked 4 minutes off my mile. How long is a cross country race on average?
High school, they're 5Ks, and in college, they were 8Ks. So they're about 3 miles,
that?
about 5 miles.
Okay. And you used to
5Ks
run
are
them in about
3.14.
3 hours, roughly?
3 hours, and then the 8Ks I would do like in 27 minutes, 24 seconds. One of those times is real.
So they're so stupid. Those jokes are so stupid. They're so funny. Oh man, you should have seen Brennan in college.
You should have seen him.
You should have seen him. He's gone downhill since.
Oh man, yeah, boy.
But then we get into the meat and potatoes of the game.
Yeah.
Second inning.
Wait, quickly. Let's get more flowers out. More flowers.
Go flower.
So our boy, the Freemason, said he's not a pitcher. He's like, our one pitcher is not here, and I got to do the job. Lefty with some big curve on those balls.
Oh my God.
Sounds. Yeah.
It was. I have a story to tell you after the podcast about what you just said.
Long ball Peter.
Long ball Peter. He showcased something that we have not seen in a Blitzball tournament before, whether it be Warehouse, whether it be Blitzball channel, whatever. What were we calling the last one? The tournament for the Blitzball, the 1v1 tournament.
Oh, I think
whatever that was.
We were calling it.
We have never seen a pitcher who is able to accurately showcase the fact that you do not need speed to be a successful blitzball pitcher until we saw Nick Mason pitch. His pitches, and it could just be because he's a lefty getting this kind of movement,
Could be.
but like his pitches were unbelievable. I don't know how he's not a pitcher because he did a great job, and it could have just been luck. It could have just been first game rust.
First game through with those hitters too, and I guess the more you see slow speed, eventually you'll catch up to it. But he was hitting his spots, and
those ones that
big,
came from
curves, they're fun.
Behind the back, clipping inside pipe. How do you ever hit that?
Yeah, because it's got so much horizontal movement while also having a lot of vertical movement too, and it's just that's a real like Andy Pettit slider he had going there. Not sure. I just made it up.
I just said a name.
Thought it sounded like like a player.
Randy Pettit.
Randy Conan. I don't know.
Could we start calling Colin Stone cute Colin Stone?
Cute Colin Stone instead of what we
I want to
called him in the
start.
Blitzball battle.
Yeah, I want to start call. I want to start giving people nicknames,
Okay.
but like old school boxing nicknames, like cute Colin Stone or Sweet Lou Dab.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right. So cute and sweet.
Cute and
And that's
sweet.
all we think of. It's
Freemason Nick Mason.
yeah.
I'm gonna think of some more.
Cute sweet Quinn. Oh, I can't get off this cute
Fuck,
sweet.
shit. Fuck.
Yeah, he was great though. I like being able to see a guy throw 44 and it not just get demolished in this league. So
Megly Man Mason,
okay, we're getting somewhere.
the Blue Bomber
We're
himself.
getting worse.
Megly Man, Mega Man is the Blue Bomber. Megly Man Mason,
Okay,
they're the
I think you
bombers.
stumbled into something
Oh
there.
shit!
Peter's on one.
Then we have Nick Man Mason and Antonio Man Mason.
The Freemasons. I think they fully need to rebrand as the Freemasons.
All right, Nick, get in contact with us.
I know you have this whole brand thing going on, but I think we can
Into the
step it
second
up a notch.
inning. This is where the excitement happens. Bombers get on the board somehow inexplicably. Where even during the rewatch that I did, I forgot about. I thought the game the first time when I watched it, I didn't take any notes. I thought it ended 1-0 to Pinstripe Power. They got on the board. Good for them. Nick Mason with the RBI, definitely, in contention in my eyes for player of the game, even though his team lost.
Yeah.
They get their run in, comes up to the bottom, and then this is kind of where, understandably, it unravels. Antonio comes onto the mound. He's not doing a fantastic job pitching. He's not doing a bad job by any means. He's locating. Like, it's not like we've seen, as we talked about in the warehouse games, sometimes when a guy is not a pitcher, they miss the strike zone so wildly that it's just like, can we just put this out of its misery?
Right, like it's not even competitive at all. But this
He
wasn't
was
the case.
being competitive.
Yeah.
He was being competitive, but he was, he loaded the bases without getting an out and ended up earning the two runs that sealed the deal for Pinstripe Power to win it off of the Colin Stone RBI, as well as Jordan Larilla. Does that sound right?
Sounds good.
He
to me.
also got an RBI. So you look at this team. I don't think it was a particularly amazing performance from either side, from the batting side of the game, but the pitching seems there. The foundation seems there. I think the Bombers are in trouble if they don't get a second pitcher.
Yeah.
So,
especially with
but
that
other
rule,
than
I
that-
wasn't fully aware of that rule. Like the only one inning allowed is tough because not saying that Nick Mason would have shut them down in the second inning because again, like we said, they might have seen him a second time and gotten used to him, but he was definitely your better option. So him already being like option C normally and having to be your best is definitely tough. And they know they're coming into this tournament a little handicapped.
Little handicapped.
Handicapped.
Brendan, please don't yawn while we're recording.
He's very excited to talk to me today.
I hate Brendan, and I hate Blitzball.
But we make so much money on this show.
We make so much money on
like
this
filthy.
show.
That's why we quit our jobs and
Filthy,
live on a
nasty,
baseball
dirty.
field. Yeah, filthy nasty.
That's a Malt Madness joke. Go listen to it.
Go listen to it.
All in all, was it the best opening to a tournament? No, but did it show us that there was a lot of potential for the future? Absolutely. There absolutely was. You saw these outrageous field plays. One we're probably going to talk about in play of the game, but you see Quinn made a great play in the field. Colin made a great play in the field. And like we said, like Brendan and I have said, it seems a lot easier on the YouTube video, like to make these plays than it actually is. We've played outside. When somebody hits a ball, Brendan, straight up into the air, and you as the pitcher, you have to go maybe 20 feet to the right while the ball is going up. How hard is it to catch that ball coming down?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think this happens
Not
in
an
this. It
answer.
happens in this game.
I asked how hard was it, and you
Well,
said
without a
yes.
doubt.
How hard is that? Oh, you know
Oh
it,
yeah,
bud.
I agree. It happens at some point in this game where it's hit straight in the air, and they're like, "We can't even blame him for that one. That's a really hard catch to
The one
make."
that goes by the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We said this before, like maybe many years ago at this point. But
Oh,
catching a blitz
many.
ball that's hit straight in the air is like when you throw a frisbee straight up in the air and like, all right, where's this thing gonna land?
Yep.
You can kind of read it if you get good at it and you see it enough, but the frisbee at least has a shape to it. That you're like, oh well, it's
Yeah.
gonna come back this direction no matter what. But I just don't know how much. Blitz balls around. It all depends on where the wind's blowing it.
I mean,
I mean, if you don't get anything from this podcast, you will at least get something out of it, being that you learned that blitz balls are round.
blitz
But they're
balls
also not that
are.
round.
They're
They
also
have
really not that round.
not that round either. Huh. Well,
Huh. Really makes you think.
it makes you think.
Let me see. I'm gonna do play the game later, Brendan.
Okay.
There you go. A little behind the scenes for
Sounds
you.
good.
But for you, Brendan, you have our player of the game.
Player of the game. Player of the game. I said it kind of in my burn. It's Colin Stone. He pitches a fantastic first inning, and this is kind of what got him to be MVP of the warehouse, was his immaculate pitching and his okay hitting. He did that. This was a microcosm of his blitzball season, the great pitching and the get it done with the bat. So he
Yeah.
did those things. 3 Ks, 2 walks, a walk, and an RBI error. I guess they call them hits in wiffle ball, blitzball world.
Oh,
So
how can you not?
1 for 1
Every play, I feel like in the blitzball world,
has to be a hit.
there are no routine plays.
No,
You know what I mean? Like you always have to expend extra effort for any of these because the ball moves so erratically.
it does.
Errors are not a thing, Brendan.
unless it's like a very very slow roller that you botch, but
Right.
doesn't.
Or
happen
unless like you go to peg somebody out and somehow turn the other direction and fire it the other
often.
way.
Right, which we'll see in this tournament at some point.
We'll see. We will. We've seen the whole tournament. We do see that during the tournament. Somebody goes and they go to throw it at somebody running to second base, turn around, throw it over the fence. Crazy.
Crazy.
They get him out at home though. So, oops.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. The wind is so hard. They throw it the other way and it
And whips back around, and nails
flies
in the back
right
of the head.
back.
No, it
That's what
was exciting to see Colin perform in this league too, because I wasn't sure going into this how our guys from the warehouse would translate to this league with a higher speed limit and higher level of talent, and so far so good.
Well, yeah, especially with the first batter Colin faces, I believe he walks, right? It was
Yeah.
so at that point I was like, we're not going to see the same Colin that we saw in the warehouse, and then guess what? We did.
We did.
He bounced back big time, 3 strikeouts, 3 big strikeouts. Really efficient inning on the mound. Really great job. And also with the walk-off again, Colin Stone, we talked about it during his interview, go back and listen to it, continues his posted video hit streak.
Yes,
So good for Colin. We love Colin. Great guy. He has a dog.
that is true. Check it out in the interview.
Check it out in the
It'll be
interview.
the most recent episode before this one.
Play of the game. Oh my God, that was funny.
Oh my god.
I'm going to say, we talked about it a little bit before. I tipped my hat. Is that the word? Tip my hand? I tipped my hand a little
my
bit.
hat in my hand.
I tipped my hat into my hand to say that we were going to talk about this. Quinn catching the ball that Lou hit
The
in the first at
quintessential
bat.
play. Oh, that would have been good to burn.
Oh shit! Good, let's go back. Go back.
Rewind.
Lou gets the first at bat for Pinstripe Power after Colin blanks the Bombers, as we talk about. He gets a piece of a ball that I went back and watched it while you were talking about Colin
nonsense.
deserving the player of the game. And I didn't realize upon my first 2 watches, if Quinn doesn't catch this ball, it might have landed in fair territory. Like, go back and
Like the
watch it
way it
when you
was
get a chance.
traveling back with the wind.
The wind
Yeah, that's true.
caught it, and it looked like it was coming back into fair territory. You could even see Quinn. Really, go back and watch this. As he's running across, whoever was playing first base, I'm not sure who that was at first base, but I believe it might have been Antonio. Not 100% sure.
Okay.
But if you go back and watch it, Quinn runs in from center field, essentially, throws his hat to the ground, and then almost overruns the ball. If you're on the YouTube, watch
Yes,
what I'm
yes.
doing. He runs in like this,
And he has to
and
like,
then ends up having to catch the ball back here as he overruns it because the wind carried it back so far. I think it might have come back onto the field for a hit, and he really saved it, and it really showcases what we were talking about earlier with how outside blitzball changes the dynamic of defense so much, and it makes it so much more fun, so much more exciting because these players have to read the ball with the elements affecting the flight path,
yeah.
essentially.
And it's similar in its own way to warehouse balls, where the guys that play there all the time know how those balls bounce off the warehouse, off the ceiling, off the sides, and these guys that play outside all the time know better than those guys how balls will like what the flight path's going to be like and how it's going to come down out of the air.
Yes.
And
100%.
they're good at it.
So
We've seen it
Quinn,
in the 1v1 tournament too. So like, how do they catch these all the time? Like they don't make that
yeah,
many errors.
yep, 100%. So Quinn gets it.
Yeah,
Good
and it was
job,
helpful in
Quinn.
the moment
Well
too that
deserved.
it like helped a guy that was probably a little nervous about going up there and pitching as a non-pitcher, and to get an out like that was like, okay, sick. This helps
Yeah,
me out a lot.
really calms him down,
Yeah,
big time. So good job, Quinn. You deserve it.
good job.
You deserve it.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay,
What do we do now?
I don't know.
We
We do
can't
now.
preview the next
Can't
game.
preview. We both saw it. So let's preview our episode. What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about another game. We're going to talk about Como versus Swisher. Something that I'm very excited about because it was Adam Knudsen, who is the #1 rated blitzball player, versus Sammy Reeser and Caden Sartain, friends of the show, Chandler Sartain, brother of friend of the show, and Tyler Davis, friend of friends of the show.
Right.
So we're very excited about this one. I did not know Jordan, Lucas, Joey, or Jack from the Swishers. From Nick Swisher.
Oh, it's all his kids.
Oh my God, Nick Swisher broke himself into different pieces.
Oh, it's
And
all
when they all come back together.
right. It's all 4 parts of his game that he plays.
Yeah.
Right.
Rick Swisher.
Interesting.
How are we feeling about that?
I like that.
We'll put
I'm
the
very
feelers
supportive
out there.
of you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Whatever
I'm
you
going to
want.
be a comedian. My comedy act is just me going on stage and saying rhymes. Today I sent my friends a text message, and the only text we hadn't texted in this group chat for days, and all I wrote in there is Curtis Granderson, Grandeur. Yep, SON.
Very good.
And that's all I texted.
That's another really good rhyme, though, Peter.
I'm gonna have to go back to it later, and I'm gonna have to send it again because I don't think anybody's responded.
No, send it a few more times for sure.
Okay, I'll do it again.
Okay.
I'm going to type right now. Wait, I got a good one. And then I'm just going to copy
Send it
and
again.
paste. So stay tuned to the next episode. I'll give you an update on my Curtis Granderson line.
Oh, I can't wait for that. It's going to be good.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you stick with us. If you enjoy this, we'll be around the whole tournament. So keep listening.
We'll be
to
around
us.
the whole tournament.
You can't
Brendan,
get rid of us.
what should people be drinking while they wait?
Drink Settle Tea. The drink made by me. It gives you just as loud of a piss as we took on this episode. So please enjoy that. You
Play
can
the
find-
waterfall effect, Brendan.
Kind of sounds like it.
It kind of sounds like it.
You can get a 12-pack of our Craft Organic iced tea at thesubtlety.com. You can use code HoppyBoys for $2 off your order. The Hoppy Boys is my other podcast that you can find anywhere you get your podcasts. It's the funny show about brewskis.
Oh,
Check it out. And
Good Bros Drinking Suds.
Good Buddy Jerkin Suds. You can also check out all of the rest of our content. We covered all of Blitzball Battle 4. We're going to have an episode coming out about the current slapball tournament with a member of the warehouse, I guess we'll call it. Not a warehouse player, but it'll be a warehouse Worker will be on that episode with us. So check
Oh.
out that stuff. You can listen to all the interviews we've been doing with people from the warehouse. I guess it's all things Blitzball. If you're here for this, you're here for that. And Colin was just on the last episode, so check all that out.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube, Boys Media. I will plug my brother Matthew Del Rey, 8th most attractive man on Nick's Twitter. I love him very much. If you see him, give him a hug and a kiss. God knows he needs it. Follow him on Twitter, Bronco Gonziano, BroncoGonziano. Follow him. Play Sea of Stars. Play Mega Man Battle Network. Play whatever game your heart desires. We're only on this earth for a short period of time. Play games,
That's
dude.
a great point. Play games, dude.
I read a great book, Brendan.
Really?
Yeah, really, really good book. I've been thinking. I read it all in one day on Sunday, last Sunday, not this past one, and I've been thinking about it nonstop ever since. It's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It is incredible. It really makes you think about life, and it's only 200
Really?
pages.
That sounds
It's
fun.
Really,
Okay,
really
I'll
good.
give that a read. Good plug.
You're a reader, Brendan?
I wanted to read 12 books last year. I read half of one, so let's get on that this year.
All right, that's good. That's almost there.
It's almost there. Maybe this year I'll read one.
Beyond that, Brendan, ask me the question.
You got anything you want to talk about?
Nope. Bye.
Bye.
Poops and poops all day and all night. His resolute ass won't.
Oh, this is the wrong song.
Bleeding from his rectum, legs gone numb. It's a sight, but he won't stop. Oh no, not until it feels right. His loved ones worry, wonder.